So I'll try not to make this one too long. I want to talk a bit about the situation with prisons in England and Wales. I'm saying in England and Wales because it's a different system in Scotland and Northern Ireland. Um, so there's been reports recently about the condition of prisons in England and Wales, and all the reports are negative. That is to say that there is real fear that this is a tinderbox situation, and the likely to be riots, or we're going to see situations which are getting out of control. It is quite clear that overcrowding is a problem. We've got, at the moment, 86,000 inmates. The majority are men, about 81,000. These are approximate figures. And that's the highest prison population in a long time. Now, to be clear, I consider myself pretty conservative on crime, not party conservative, but socially conservative. I believe that people who make the choice to commit crime have to face consequences. Um, but I believe that we need to get it right. So punishment has to be part of justice, but at the same time, you want to find a way of reducing reoffending, and it's quite clear that the current situation, reoffending rates are too high. Um, I mean, this is the thing. As a society, we have to ask ourselves, when we're punishing people, do we want a situation where we're degrading them to an extent that they're just going to come out bitter and angry and reoffend? I think that's not practical for anyone. This isn't so much about sympathy for them. Some of these people have committed heinous crimes, but we have to be practical. I don't want to see Scandinavian style justice, which, in my view, I really have no respect for Scandinavian style justice, which is basically, in my opinion, it's a joke. I know crime levels are low, but I don't think that punishment comes into the equation at all, and I think that's wrong. Swedish, Norwegian, Finnish style prisons are the can hardly even be called prisons. I think that's a mistake. On the other hand, I think that having brutal prisons, American style, is just as bad because you have a situation where it doesn't reduce reoffending, and it's you just brutalizing people in that way. Whether they deserve it or not is besides the point. As a civil society, you have to treat people in a humane way, regardless of what they've done, because otherwise society then reduces itself to their level. Um, so the UK is somewhere in the middle, but we need to improve because this situation is going to get out of hand. Building more prisons may be the answer. I know there's organisations like the Hard League. If they had their way, there would be no prisons. I think that's an extreme position to take. They won't say that's their position, but if you look into their website, if you look at all the rhetoric they use, it's quite clear that is their final goal, the complete abolition of prison. I think it's just unrealistic and it's completely immoral because a gang who terrorizes a young family should not be free to roam the streets. Simple as that. So we need to get balance with this. I don't want to see a situation where inmates are taking their own lives, regardless of what they've done, regardless of how despicable they are as people. I don't think that helps us as a nation. I don't think it is something that should be celebrated. Um, I think prisons should be tough. They shouldn't have the sort of facilities that law abiding citizens have. They should be humane. They should have exercise. They should have decent food. And they should have access to facilities that could help their rehabilitation into society. All those things are necessary. And I do believe that they should have passionate release if relatives are dying and so on. People will say, well, they don't deserve that, they didn't give their victims that, but justice can't be about revenge. They should be punished, absolutely. But I think we need to take this situation seriously, and a lot of people responding are sort of like, oh, they deserve it and so on. They're not really looking at the bigger picture. And you don't need to be a lefty or neoliberal to see that. I'm not a lefty on this issue. I'm pretty conservative. But common sense dictates that if you brutalize people in that way, and you don't listen to their concerns, it's going to explode. And why is that a problem? It's a problem because it will then have an impact on society when they're released. So we need to get this right. That's why I do think we need to seriously have some reforms in the current prison situation. And that's absolutely not endorsing the hard leagues approach, which I think is reckless and immoral. Their approach is just abolish prison. The problem isn't prison itself, it's how prison is governed. That is the issue. How prison is governed, how prison is managed.